Sea Monkey, what is up, man? Hello, Silver Delta. What's going on, people? I'm actually on my commute home from work, so you guys can check it out. Seoul, Korea. Ahoy, matey. Hold up. Green light. Gotta put the phone down. Yeah, it's been a long time, man. I've been so busy. You guys know I got the third daughter and started a new job, but can't complain, man. Things are good. I'm so sorry I haven't sent out the Gawin yet, but I'm gonna send something extra special, and I'll make sure it gets there before Christmas. So appreciate your patience. But yeah, man, I thought I'd just give this a shot. Yeah, Seoul is a really cool place. It's a very dynamic place, and Korea in general, it's very small, but at the same time there's so much, packed into one small country. I mean, every town, every section of every city and town and everything has its own kind of unique little thing, and it's really, really cool. Like, you could spend a long time in a very small area, and there'd be so much that you could see and do. So, oh man, driving is crazy out here. Everybody thinks they're James Bond. It's you gotta be. It's not for the weak-hearted, that's for sure. But nothing beats China. China is nuts. Yeah, box trucks going down crowded alleys, and crazy motorcycle delivery drivers, and everybody's just, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah. Oh yeah, the big news. So you must have saw my last video. There's a really, really big announcement that I got coming up. But the thing is, I'm working on this project with other people, so I can't just spill the beans whenever I please. I gotta check with my people first. But it's close for sure. And I'm telling you, this is something that, yeah, nobody has done before. Hey, Silver Scorpion. What's going on, man? Yeah, Sea Monkey Meadows, there are adult shops depending on, what part of town you're in. But they're usually kind of confined to, certain areas, So, that's good. So I'm at a red light, so I'll give you guys a look. Let's see here. It's been kind of rainy and cold, especially the past day or two. So yeah, man, this is a new idea. I'm not gonna say I'm the first one to think of this idea, but I believe me and the people I'm working with, we are some of the first ones to actually put it together. But yeah, that announcement is coming within the next month, and I'm really, really excited about that. So yeah, that's one thing about like pretty much all Asian cities is the lights. But yeah, this is a new section of town. So, and that to my right is like this huge complex. They have the Supreme Court there for like this district. So, oh well, yeah, Gangnam, Itaewon areas. Yeah, those are like nightlife areas. So definitely there would be like lots of nightclubs and bars and stuff like that. So for sure. But I live like sort of nearby Gangnam, but not that part, not like the downtown part. Oh yeah, Busan. I love Busan because you know I come from like the coastal area in the U.S., like the West Coast. So very cool, really nice over there too. There's a lot of like nature and stuff there, and lots of good seafood if you're into seafood. Really cool. The thing is though, it's very difficult for me to understand their accent. Like they talk with a really heavy accent. They use like different words and stuff, but it sounds cool. I just have a harder time communicating. So actually my wife was born in Busan, but she moved away when she was younger up here to Seoul. So yeah, Perth Mint Dragons, definitely. What is up, Mike V? For sure, man. Sorry, I'm driving, so I'm just making sure I'm not gonna cause a wreck. Yeah, they have a regional dialect down there in Busan. Oh man, Mike V said your video on the Perth Mint Dragons got me into stacking. Man, that's I'm honored, man. Appreciate you letting me know that and telling me that. Thank you. Yeah, we're pretty close time zone. I think you're 2 hours ahead of us here. It's 18:30 here, so I'm just getting off work and heading back to the house. So I got 6:30 p.m. here. See Monkey. I've had so many things going on recently. I have not had the time to get on YouTube, like to even watch videos or anything. It's been crazy. So, but I really want to make an effort to get back into it consistently, and a few other things. So even if it's just like these little live, drive home or whatever. So I thought I'd just give it a shot and see what happens. So far so good. Yeah. By the way, how's your garden? Did you have a good harvest, Sea Monkey? Thank you so much, Silver Delta. I see you in the comments, and man, I feel like I'm really happy with my channel because I feel like I have a really strong connection with all the people who are subscribed and who comment and stuff like that, man. And I really appreciate that. And when I started my channel, I actually wanted to give a little bit more of like an international perspective, because most of the channels, when I started, most of the channels that I was seeing were all in the US. And So I wanted to give a little bit more. There were a few European channels as well, but like nothing out of Asia or anywhere else. So, and then I'd say probably about a year after I had been doing it, I started seeing more and more channels from Europe and Asia, Africa, all these different places. So I've really enjoyed that and appreciated that a lot. And Australia is such an important place for precious metals, and all the Australians I've met since I've been living here in Asia are super cool. Like I think that maybe it's just my personality or something, but all the Australian people I've met here are super cool. So I'm glad. The first guest I had on the Silver Cast, the podcast, there was a dude from Australia. You guys know Silver Gun, Golden Gun, excuse me. What am I saying? And he's the one who coined that phrase, gold baby gold. So, yeah, man. Love to see all the international channels. That sounds like a good harvest. Kale's really good. Sea Monkey Metals. And Mike V says he's almost up to 3 ounces of gold. Congratulations. 1,500 ounces of silver. Oh, 150 ounces of silver. Sorry. I was going to say, man, that's crazy. But yeah, 150 ounces is really good too. And 3 ounces of gold. That's amazing, man. Guam Stacker, what's up, man? How's it going? Black Friday, we only have a few distributors out here, and they have, some of them do have a Black Friday thing, but I don't really go for that too much, so I didn't get any, but I've got some good pickups recently. How about you? Did you get any good Black Friday deals? Got another 10th ounce of gold on the way. That's awesome, Sea Monkey. Yeah, 100 pieces of gold challenge video. Yeah, we're gonna have one coming up soon. I got a little bitty piece of gold on the way, so, but it's a continuation of something that I started stacking last year. Yeah, I hear you, Guam, man. I've been super busy too, man. It's crazy. Life's crazy, man. I had a great Thanksgiving. I had my one of my longtime friends. I probably wouldn't even be in Korea if it wasn't for this dude. I've been friends with him since I was in high school. So we've been friends like for over 20 years. And like we were basically both kids, you know, or young men when we first met. And now he has kids and I have kids. And so we all had Thanksgiving together and it was super cool. But man, the kids were just like running around, flying around all over the place. My twins and his two kids, and I was tired, but it was a good kind of tired. So doing stuff on AppMex. Okay, so 10 ounce bars for 25 bucks an ounce. That's good. That's really good, Mike. And Sea Monkey Metals bought some Dune stuff on AppMex. The Dune set and the silver rounds. That's pretty cool, man. I want to see. I still haven't seen that movie, but it looks pretty nice. I wasn't even familiar with that story until I saw the trailer. So, but that's awesome, man. And they just got Disney Plus out here, so I just saw The Mandalorian. Like, watched the 2 seasons, and then I realized what that silver bar was, like that looks like the Beskar. I know I'm like 2 years late, but we just got Disney Plus, so yeah. Yeah, man, it was probably one of the best Thanksgivings that I've ever had. Like, the food was amazing, and it was just good. I saw my parents, my in-laws, and my best friend all on the same day. That hasn't happened. That's only happened one other time. That was on my wedding day, so that was cool. Oh yeah, HBO Max. I don't know if we have that one, but we'll get it soon enough. Disney Plus was like super late. Like they were talking about coming here way earlier on this year, but they were having these really long negotiations with all of the like mobile service providers out here. So I had Netflix, but I had canceled it. So but yeah, man, I've been thinking about like doing some more short form videos, like talking about just different topics and subjects, and you know, just different types of videos. So that's why I wanted to jump on here and test out this live. And it's cool. I've only done this one other time, but I love interacting with the audience. I mean, with my fellow stackers. You know what I mean? So, it's cool. Yeah, that 10-ounce bar is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. Netflix, I also canceled it because like some of their content was just making me a little uncomfortable. Like, I'm not gonna get it too deep into it, but like, I don't know. I'm not like a prude or anything like that, but I do have some lines, you know, but like personal stuff that like I'm not gonna pay to support some weird stuff, you know. So that's kind of what did it for me. And I knew that Disney was coming, and I have 3 kids, so I mean, it just made sense. So, plus they raised their prices, and they kept sending me emails like, we have 400, 500 new, you know, things, shows that we're like adding. But really, it wasn't new stuff. It's just old stuff that they had just got the license for. So I was just kind of not satisfied with the type of content that they were producing, and all the spam mails and raising the prices and all that kind of stuff. So I decided enough is enough. But yeah. Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate that, man. I want to try some new types of content. So yeah, there's some stuff on Disney that's also kind of weird, but I don't know. It might be a little different too, because I know that like the licenses that they have here are sometimes different than the licenses that they have over in the States. So I don't know if like all the content is 100% the same, but I just wasn't happy with them. So I'm not really too big on TV and stuff anyways. I like a good movie and all that, but just it's just not really for me. So yeah, the VPN. Yeah, I used that like when I first got Netflix, because when they first came out here, there was like, it was really like the content that they had. They were still working on getting the licenses. Well, like they had already launched, but there were so many things that they hadn't worked out the licenses for, like the regional licenses here in Korea. So I used a VPN and watched. I'm like telling on myself right now, but I watched like the American version, but it got kind of harder to do that. But they had also got a lot of the licenses worked out, so it was cool. But yeah, man. Well, believe it or not, I'm already home. Not too bad. There was not that much traffic today. But I just wanted to test this out and see how it goes. And I'm gonna try to do some more videos, like live streams like this, and other types of videos talking about more current event stuff and things like that. There's so many things going on in the world, and it's you know, I was listening to an interview today with somebody. I forgot what it was, but they're talking about how like algorithms on Facebook and YouTube and all these other places actually drive content that's divisive, like politically divisive, where you're like one side is attacking the other side. That's the stuff that gets promoted, and stuff that's like giving information or not attacking other people, it doesn't get promoted. I forgot what it was, but they were comparing like the way that they manage the internet in China, especially for kids, versus like the way that they manage it in the United States, and how algorithms like push certain content and stuff like that. And it was an interesting discussion. I definitely don't think we should go to the Chinese model, but like for example, like there's a period where like the internet's just closed, for kids, like after a certain time, maybe 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. or something like that. Like, and then if you're watching, like they have their own version of TikTok there, which is kind of funny because TikTok was like a Chinese company, if I'm not mistaken, but they promote like educational videos instead of like dance videos or social media influencer videos or whatever. I definitely don't think we should go that way, but it's just interesting how they handle it compared to like how the US handles it. And I don't know. I see American news media and stuff here, and I just think that like, man, I have such a different perspective because I'm living in another country, and I would love to share that perspective, if nothing else, just for the interest of conversation, So I was in China in 2018, and we're told if you use a VPN, you're in big trouble. Yeah, I mean, I took several business trips to China, and we had business partners there, and it's definitely not free, So they want to build up their culture while degrading ours. It's true. I mean, they're definitely trying to become the number one, power in the world and stuff. And I mean, what better way to do that than by sowing the seeds of discontent in the United States? But I don't know. There's always going to be an adversary for us, as Americans, or for any country really, but especially for whoever is the strongest, the top country. They're always going to have an adversary. And I mean, it's sometimes, I feel like I don't know, but I feel like sometimes it might be hard for people to imagine, especially if they've never been overseas. But like, at some point we do have to set our differences aside and like stop exaggerating the political division and try to build up our country and ourselves as well. Like I feel like the conversations are in the US are like the political and social conversations, and economic conversations are, it's just like alienating each other and dividing each other. And people talk about the left or the right or whatever like they're not even American. And it's like, look, we can disagree on stuff, but we also have to agree on stuff because we have to, it's our country, so we have to take care of it, and we have to keep it going, and we got to keep it strong. So we can have vigorous disagreements, but like at some point we also have to get stuff done. And I don't know. I mean, I'm not blaming anyone really. I mean, there's enough blame to go around a lot, but yeah, it's just we're always going to have an adversary. I think like the whole Russia thing is definitely blown out of proportion, but you know, like American politicians and like the people who are at the levers of power, they also have to understand that like, you know, um it's not just a game for them to make money and their own personal power. I mean, they think it is, but like that's not going to last if you degrade the country so much that like another country becomes way more powerful, you know? So I have no problem with China becoming the superpower. The US is sadly self-destructing and its own worst enemy while society degenerates. I mean, there's a lot of truth in that. I mean, you know, I honestly think that the U.S. political system is just incentivized corruption, you know? And I also think that society does have a lot of problems. We're like, and there's like a two-tier system of justice, a two-tier system of like economic opportunity, and it's just getting worse and worse, you know? So, um, and it's not only China that tries to divide us, but there's people in the United States who profit off of that division and degeneracy. So, good times make weak men make bad times make good men. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's definitely, um, a period of time, without a doubt, no matter where you stand. I think these are trying times for everyone. You can feel the tension and the controversy, and it definitely is something that exposes character, and depending on, you know, your mentality would build character and stuff. So, yeah, capitalism over communism. I mean, you know, I think that every country has a sort of mixed system, so it's not really a choice that we have to make between capitalism or communism. I mean, honestly, China has multiple stock markets, and they have McDonald's and Starbucks and everything else. So there's a lot of elements to China that where it's like capitalism, but it's like state-run capitalism, but that's not communism, right? Like, so, but if you've ever read Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler, he says that capitalism is the ideal system for a fascist state, so long as that economy, that market economy, serves to increase the strength of the state. He says that, like, I think it's in the first like third of the book. It's a really thick book, but so if I look at China, I think it's a more of a fascist state than it is like a communist state. Communism is just their state ideology. It's almost like you could compare it to like a religion almost, you know? It's a dogma. But there's rich, super rich billionaires in China, and there's poor homeless people. Like, I mean, they produce the most millionaires and billionaires year after year in the world. So to me, that's not really a communist state. I mean, they just use communism and the greater good as an excuse to go in and take whatever they want and control whatever they want. And I don't know, maybe that's the end result of every communist state. But I think that, you know, there has to be a mixed system, and there is a mixed system in every single country, including the United States, you know. And the level of like corporate socialism that exists in the United States is ridiculous, you know. I mean, I don't really think that Amazon and these other huge, gigantic companies should be getting like subsidies, and especially while the CEOs and, you know, the leaders and the chairmen of these companies are basically paying nothing in taxes. I mean, even Joe Manchin, who's probably like the most conservative He's probably more conservative than some Republican senators, to be honest with you. But he's definitely the most conservative Democrat. And even he says they should pay like a freedom tax or whatever he called it, like basically a patriotic tax, he said, of like 15%. Like they shouldn't be allowed to use all these loopholes and like, sell stocks at a loss in order to offset their profits and do share buybacks and all these little tricks so that they effectively pay zero in taxes, which is what they all do because the United States allowed them to build this company and allowed them to become billionaires. So shouldn't they contribute a little bit back to that? Especially when you and we're contributing a greater portion of our wealth. Even if the overall raw number, like if you pay like whatever it is, $5,000, $10,000 in taxes to the IRS, but as an overall percentage, that's like, let's say maybe 10% of your income if you're like a small business owner or something like that, but like they're paying zero, so even if they paid 15%, that is a massive number because they're billionaires. So I don't know, I just think that like the system is just gone a little bit too far in one direction. We need to bring it back. And but yeah, this is the kind of stuff I want to talk about. I think it's interesting. Corporations kick back to politicians, and that's 100% true. See monkey medals. And you know what? Like everybody's talking about Kirsten Sinema right now, and like she ran on the idea of lowering drug prices, and she's the one who's like against having Medicare and Medicaid be able to negotiate drug prices. I don't even think she cares about getting reelected because there's a revolving door in Washington, D.C., and she's just going to go to work for, some lobbying firm or some consulting firm. She doesn't care. She doesn't care about getting elected or reelected. You're right. They are there to enrich themselves and serve themselves and get paid. And it's not cool, you know what I mean? Because that's not what it's supposed to be. If our politicians are going to represent corporations, then let's just call it what it is, and let's just have them do that and say that corporations are who they represent, and just stop pretending like they represent people, because all the CNN and all those major mainstream news outlets and stuff, they all talk about like the fairness and the importance of democratic elections and stuff like that. Well, it doesn't mean nothing if they're not representing the actual constituents. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy, man. But yeah, it's interesting. It's really interesting. And I also very here happy Sinema got the Biden inflation bill reduced by a lot. So hey, Carl's KTX, hello. So yeah, I'm like, it's interesting to talk about this stuff and to hear what you guys think about this kind of stuff too, because this is the stuff I want to talk about as well, that I find personally interesting. So yes, corporations are not people and money is not free speech. You're right. However, according to the Supreme Court, corporations are people and money is speech, even though everybody knows that's ridiculous. But those Supreme Court decisions are actually a major part of the problem, So Congress equals the biggest bunch of insider traders. You're right. But they're just like half of the problem, in my opinion, because they're the de jure government, right? They're the government, like, according to the law. But there's also a de facto government, and those are the corporate interests, which are represented by lobbying firms and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I should try to schedule it and go live at certain times. It's a good idea. So that way people can expect it and have conversations and stuff like that. That would be cool. Yeah, man. And you know what else too is that, like, here's another thing. And this one is on individuals. It's like people gotta stop freaking out when somebody has a different opinion than them. You know what I mean? So, and I mean, I think that for stackers, we have common interest. You know, a lot of us are just trying to secure some economic sovereignty and freedom, and we all gather around the idea of hard money. So therefore we have something in common before getting into a political conversation, which I feel like is an important thing, because these days people just want to jump into political conversations, and a lot of times they're doing it in bad faith. They just want to shoot the other side down and talk about how right they are and stuff. And like a lot of these people, they just started caring about politics like within the past, I don't know, 4 years or so, you know? So, but yeah, it's an important topic for sure. But yeah, censorship is definitely a big problem for sure. Absolutely. And you know, I do hear a lot of right-wing like media outlets and stuff saying that like they're specifically being targeted, but I can promise you and guarantee you it happens on the left as well. I think there's actually a lot more that left-wing and right-wing populism, like people who have populist ideas about economics, right? Left-wing populists and right-wing populists have a lot more in common than a lot of people realize, I think, you know? So, I mean, Donald Trump was talking about, hello, Tony McClain. Good afternoon from Kuwait, brother. That's awesome. I'm very grateful I found Stacker community is really awesome. Lots of like-minded people. Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope that people start seeing each other as people, you know, before they just start looking at it like you're on team blue and I'm on team red or whatever it is. But what I was going to say is like, Donald Trump had a lot of ideas that some of them he actually tried to go through with after being elected. Some of them he didn't, but some of the stuff he was saying on the campaign trail is like stuff that left-wing populists like Bernie Sanders have been saying for years. I mean, he talked about ending the wars, and now the Democrats have become the mainstream ones are the party of war. Like, I am living in Korea, you know? So I don't want like Bush / Obama style, you know, diplomacy with North Korea, because they aggravate North Korea, and you know, I could die. You know what I mean? But Trump tried diplomacy with North Korea. Like, North Korea already has nuclear weapons. That's not, and they're never going to go away. You know what I mean? So the best thing you can do at this point is try to negotiate with them and hope that they don't sell like their nuclear secrets to like some terrorist organization or another rogue state or something like that. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I think I appreciated that from Trump. And he did that with John Bolton, who's like the biggest neocon warhawk of all time, as his Secretary of State. So that was surprising, and I was very happy about that, you know? So, and, I mean, I thought that Donald Trump's, like, Operation Warp Speed thing was good, and, you know, so it wasn't all bad. Like, to me, here's the biggest thing for me when it comes to politics is I don't care about parties or individual politicians. I don't. I care about principles and policies. That's what I care about. Individual, issue by issue policies and I care about principles, consistency. Because these people, man, these politicians, 99.9% of them, they say one thing and then they just do the total complete opposite. And I mean, Biden is a perfect example, man. I mean, he said he was going to get $15 minimum wage. Didn't happen. Regardless of how you feel about it, that was one thing that he got elected on. That was a major campaign promise. And he didn't get it to happen. He could have got it to happen. You know what I mean? I saw a statistic that he's only followed through on 8% of his campaign promises, which is pathetic. So, you know, they want to say that like the Democrats are going to get destroyed in the midterm elections because of like social things like critical race theory. I don't think it's that. I think it's you promised a whole bunch of stuff and you didn't do it. And nobody likes that. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. And Trump is going to run again in 2024. So we'll see what happens. It could be the greatest election of all time, folks. It's going to be amazing. I'm telling you. Biden said he'd clear college debt. Yeah. Biden promised a whole bunch of stuff. I think the only things he delivered on was getting out of Afghanistan, which was good. And the mainstream media was like, oh, he did it the wrong way. It's like, dude, you tell me a good way to lose a war, you know? And I mean, if we're going to judge, largest airlift in American history. And he saved a lot of people who helped us, you know? So they're just mad because they're all part of the military industrial complex. And, you know, it is what it is. But that was the one good thing he did. The other thing was the $1,400 stimulus checks. But even that one, he said they would be $2,000. And then later he was like, well, Trump already gave $600. So we'll go with $1,400. So whatever, you know, but anyway, yeah, you're right. And that's, you know what? I'm not too big on movie quotes, but there's a quote from the original Karate Kid where Mr. Miyagi basically says, like, you got to choose the left side of the street or the right side of the street. Because if you try to walk down the middle, you're going to get run over. And I think, like, that's exactly what happened with Biden. And I mean, I'm not trying to be funny or disrespectful, but I don't really know how much, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Biden's mental health or capacity. I mean, I'm not saying he's like lost it or whatever. I'm just saying I don't know how much, you know. I mean, he's clearly lost a step from like his Obama days, but I don't know, man. And like Kamala Harris, like the Democrats are talking about like Kamala Harris and Pete Buttigieg being like the next. If that happens, goodbye Democrats, because let's remember. Okay, Kamala Harris had to drop out before Iowa in the Democratic primaries. So, like, really? You're going to choose somebody who couldn't even make it to the first contest in the primaries as, like, your future? And then they, like, forced her in for, like, I'm sorry to say, but identity politics reasons, you know? I'm from California. She was the attorney general in California, and she sent like letters threatening to lock up kids and their parents and stuff. And she did for truancy, including like this girl. There's like a famous story about this girl who her mom was like sick in the hospital or something like that. And like, it was just crazy, man. But yeah, that whole situation is a mess. But you know, I mean, it is what it is. But I mean, I'm more interested in stuff like that internet thing that I was talking about, where it's like how in Western countries they control the internet versus how they do it in other countries, you know, because that's something that seriously affects us, you know, as people, as individuals. So, and not only as individuals, but as individual members of a whole society. So, but yeah, man, guys, you know what, Mike, you're totally right. I should schedule this and do this more regularly and often. So I don't know. Right now it's Tuesday after evening, so maybe I'll do this once a week at this time. I think that'd be good. Just jump on here Tuesday evening after work on my drive home. So another thing, Comsco has a physical store here. It's on the other side of the city, but I wanted to go there and like do a video, maybe even live. I don't know. I gotta ask about that, but I gotta ask them if that's okay. But if not, like just at least film some stuff and show that. I want to show more of like Korea and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, guys, I really enjoyed hanging out with you and appreciate all the interesting conversation. I didn't plan to get into these like deep social political conversations, but it's just always interesting. 5 a.m. for me in NYC. I'm up way too late. Okay, well maybe I'll do one like in the morning on my drive to work, and then another one in the evening on my way back home. So I'll think about it and start doing them regularly. So yeah, man, it's great to talk to you too. And once again, I am so sorry about the goth thing, but I promise you, you're gonna be happy with what I send to you. So appreciate your understanding, and really great talking to you guys. And hope you guys have a wonderful morning ahead or evening, wherever you're at in the world. We got people from New York City, Guam, everywhere, Kuwait. So guys, have a great time and talk to you again soon. Much love and respect. Catch you on the flip side.